Well, we've been tracking this breaking story here on Headlines Today. The ABVP workers are in fact protesting outside the Bangalore's premier school where the 6-year-old student was raped by 2 staff members. Yesterday, we saw protests raging with parents, angry and anxious parents who in fact entered the school premises demanding answers from the school management and authorities. They were met by a stunning silence on the part of the authorities, and finally the principal was forced to come out and break his silence. And while he did assure that the guilty will in fact be hanged, he also gave assurances to ensure all safety checks and balances to be put in place. Anxious parents clearly not satisfied with those answers, and today we've seen that the ABVP workers have in fact gathered along with parents and students outside the Vibgyor school in Bangalore South area. They've gathered outside the school premises in protest. My colleague Ratnika is joining me live from Ground Zero. Ratnika is at the school premises. Ratnika, take us through what the latest is. What is it that the ABVP is demanding?
Right now, the ABVP seems to be increasing its pitch in terms of demand for justice, for justice from the school authorities and management, because they've been so quiet for so long. And this is the second group, in fact, that's coming here today morning. There was also the Narendra Modi army, but they came in small numbers. But the ABVP has made the protest massive by coming in large numbers along with women and students. However, the parents are not exactly involved with the ABVP protest, but they definitely are looking for some kind of support.
Well, absolutely. They are definitely looking to garner support for parents at this point in time. Also, Ratnika, you've been in touch, with parents who have their students studying in that school. And yesterday we saw some very angry and anxious voices. What is the response to the parents, at this point in time in the light of all these protests that are raging? Are parents joining forces with political outfits in protest?
Yes, there seems to be some kind of an atmosphere like that, because in the morning there was a group of parents who had come here because the investigating officer had promised that by today the criminals will be arrested. But there was no answer, so there was a group of parents outside trying to demand answers from the police, but they were joined by these ABVP protests as well as the Narendra Modi army protests, and they seem to again have garnered some kind of support and now asking for justice in a bigger voice.
Well, seeking justice, parents there joining forces with political outfits. Ratnika is at Ground Zero and will continue to track developments. Thanks, Ratnika, for that live update. The big story coming out of Bangalore, the rape of a 6-year-old girl by a school teacher inside the school premises, saw massive protests all of yesterday, with parents questioning the safety being provided to their children. The incident reportedly took place on the 2nd of July and came to light only recently when the girl's medical examination in fact confirmed rape. The Union HRD Ministry has now promised to look into the matter. Here's a full report.
Massive outrage at the rape of a 6-year-old. Angry parents breaking through the gates, storming a prominent Bangalore school, forcing it to be shut until Monday. The first arrests in the case are expected today.
There's about 15-20 representatives inside talking to Mr. Rustam, but meanwhile parents got so agitated they've actually broken down the door of the school and shattered glass and tried to barge in and demanding answers from.
It was on July 2nd that a class first student was raped by 2 gym instructors during school hours. The child reportedly attacked on her way to the washroom. The incident reported only a week later when the child complained of pain to her parents. She was then taken to the doctor, and it was then that the cops stepped in.
2 to 3 suspect persons have been interrogated, and so far there is no clue.
They belong from the school?
Yeah.
Inside the management?
Those who are working here, whom that's on the suspicion arrest with, we have just got them and we are interrogating.
The parents are angry at the authorities failing to own up responsibility for the child's safety during school hours. The city is outraged.
This is the worst kind of a crime, and the rule book should be thrown away and these people should be confined to jail or put to death.
As the anger snowballed, the chairman clarified after 3 days.
All cooperation is being given to the authorities, and the guilty will have to be punished, and all our cooperation is there towards that.
But the explanation, not enough.
It's almost a confrontation between the police who are trying to do their job and the parents who are agitated because the management is not showing up. So how do you break the gridlock?
I'm scared, angry, and it's not the question of your school alone. It can happen in any other school.
The entire parent community is with them. We are there to support them and sort of help them with their legal battle.
The school's entire attempt has been to keep it micro and absolve itself of all responsibility. But the authorities clearly stand in the dock. It failed to run background checks on its staffers, failed to ensure safety of students during school hours. Some parents even accused them of imposing one-sided rules to reject blame. After the incident too, there's been a refusal to take responsibility.
Have you met the victim's parents?
No, I have not met the victim's parents. I will be meeting them. All the required security will be there. The school will function normal from tomorrow.
Bangalore is shaken. Parents too scared to send their children to school. For this comes as a massive breach of trust. With Ratnika in Bangalore, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.